Well, guys, it's a great day for a great day. Welcome back to the YouTube. It's Sunday. It's about what? Almost 1 p.m. here. And rock and roll with Sunday setup. So, head over to Walmart, get our meal prep for the week, get our foods. And I gotta throw it out there. I'll never understand how every Costco is the exact same no matter where you are. Good, bad, West Coast, East Coast, Midwest. It doesn't matter. You're going to find the same crazy shit in every single Walmart you come across. Every single one of them, without fail. It's like it's just engraved in their Walmart DNA just to have some fuckery going on. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Maybe I'm not meant to understand it. I don't know. But I will say, in my humble opinion, Walmart is one of the better options nowadays when it comes to meal prep. Okay? Some people might tell me I'm entirely wrong. Well, you're wrong. Just kidding. We're entitled to have our own opinions. But I will say, I am a Costco person. Okay? And I have been a Costco person for quite some time. But the prices in proteins over the last 5 years have really increased, like skyrocketed, and drives me nuts. I think about my go-to for a very long time was the 90-10 5-pound beef logs. I know that sounds silly, but they were, it was a pack of 5 1-pound logs of 90-10 beef. And when I first started to get them, roughly about 5 years ago, it was like $23. Now, almost $30. The chicken, they have like their, oh, let's go, buddy, come on. Then they had their 10-pound bag of chicken breast. Okay, that was, I believe, about $20-ish 5 years ago, and now that's like literally $30. So the price increase has been absolutely insane. And with some of their other stuff, like, you know, rice, veggies, stuff like that, I still think that that's in a really good spot for our economy and just overall price comparisons to other places. But I do believe that Walmart gets the best bang for your buck. My go-to is their 8-pound bag of frozen chicken breast. And that is, I think, like $21 or $22. So pretty freaking decent, right? The 10 bag of Costco, 10-pound bag is $30. 8-pound bag here is about $21, $22. I always forget. So that's pretty stellar. That's a really good deal. I like that. I stick with that. And it's good quality chicken. Like I'm big on the Blackstone. Big Blackstone guy right here. Mark it, clock it. Big Blackstone guy right here. I think it's one of the best ways to cook. But this chicken, it does so well in the Blackstone. It cooks up so juicy. Able to keep it all week long and not feel like it's dried out or it's losing its flavor or its taste. Like, it just does a really good job of being great all week. So I can't complain. Like, I really do enjoy it. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not the type of person either to like look for like organic or grass-fed or any of that type of stuff. As long as it's chicken, I'm there for it, and as long as it's not moldy or fucking looking gray as hell, then we're good. We're ready to rock and roll. But that's the meal prep. So just to clue you guys in, like, what does a typical day of eating sound like? Because I will have to do a full day of eating. That way you guys can visually see what this food looks like. I always train fasted. The only sort of like substance that I'll put into my body when it comes to a workout is my pre-workout. But like I've shown in the past, the carb source, okay, the powdered carb source, Ultraformance that we have, 3 different carbs that break down 3 different points. That's the only carbs I'm really putting in my body, besides what I had for dinner the night before. So pre-workout, post-workout, which will have simple carbs and then protein, about 40 grams of protein. Then my first real meal, chicken and rice. 5 ounces rice, 5 ounces chicken. Then my second meal, chicken and rice. 5 ounces rice, 8 ounces chicken. Snack come along later will be, it always kind of fluctuates. It's either there is no snack, or I'm having a protein bar, or a protein bar and a protein stick, or just a protein stick. So there's options, there's variations to that, okay? And then dinner, carb-wise, protein pancake. Always do a protein pancake. Big on whatchamacallit, Kodiak. But I'm feeling like changing it up today. I think I'm gonna change it up when I pick it up and get something different brand maybe. I've seen a few different ones that look pretty good. So we'll change it up. And then depending on if I get those snacks in my day, that's where I'll whip up some egg whites. And those egg whites, what I'll usually do, I'll just throw up some cinnamon, and that's about it. And then I'll throw that on top of the pancake, and then we have some sugar-free syrup. So that is usually my day in eating. Pretty close to 3,000 calories. I really don't need all that much to put on weight. My metabolism is definitely a funky son of a gun and does not really allow me to eat too much food. So bittersweet for sure. Definitely helps me keep in check, and kind of explains a little bit of why my in-body was not as good as we were hoping it was going to be. So I do have to count for 2 weeks traveling back to back. Was in Massachusetts on the East Coast and Connecticut for 6 days. Not that we ate terrible, but a lot of pizza. I mean, the East Coast has phenomenal pizza, but even better seafood. So was able to eat good balance of relatively healthy food with the seafood, good proteins, and then of course just phenomenal pizza, like phenomenal. And then right after that, came back for a short week of work and right back into Arkansas with Corey. And not that we ate like dog crap there either. Like, it was pretty damn good. A lot of proteins for sure. I mean, we had a lot of McDonald's the first night just because nothing was open. Like I said, we had the freaking drag show going on, so we had to get out of there. So I do think that there's still a decent amount of inflammation just from traveling, not being on my meal plan, and just a lot of different things that I normally wouldn't do, drinking wise, things like that. So I'm just going to account for that. I'm not going to chalk it up to like, oh, it's all fake, it's all wrong. We always have to take those scans with a little bit of grain of salt. What is the full 100% accuracy on those? It is hard to tell. They are pretty damn close to being accurate, but again, you don't want to take it just for face value. You do have to understand there's going to be potential mechanical errors in there. So it is what it is. We're staying positive. We're locking in. Today is like the official lock-in day, I guess you could say. Getting everything tracked, getting everything sent over to coach, making sure that we're rocking and roll with everything. Today is a rest day. Thursdays and Sundays are my rest day. No picking of weights of any sort unless invited somewhere to do something, or how to switch up some days. Whoa. That dude's crazy. But on off days, we do get steps in still. So we'll still be focusing on that. 10K steps, that's always the goal. And to throw it out there, because people are saying you have to get your 10K. It's not entirely true. Everybody's goal is a little bit different. How much weight do you want to lose? How quickly do you want to lose it? Are we just trying to lose weight? Are we trying to burn fat? Are we trying to build muscle? Right? There's so many different variables that lead to how many steps you need in a day. So don't feel like you just need 10K. Some people might need a lot more. Some people might need less. I will say it also depends on your sedentary levels at work, at home. How active are you truly in life? So, if you ever have questions, feel free to reach out to me, or, someone that you look up to, someone that has knowledge of the game that can point you the right direction. So just want to throw that out there. But this is the Sunday. This is the Sunday setup. And I really do think this is I don't know. I don't want to say sacrifice in a bad way, but I do think it's one of the better ways to sacrifice your time is to do what you can, as much as you can, on a Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, to knock it all out, to be prepared for the week. That way you don't got to worry about anything. Like, you're ready physically, mentally. You don't have to second guess things, grab and go type stuff, and ready to rock and roll. It's how can you set future you up for success now? Okay, don't be Mr. Lazy Bones or Miss Lazy Pants and say I'm going to do it on Wednesday. You're not. You're not. You're just not. You're not. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. I know you are, because I've done it. We've all done it. So if you can, on a Sunday or even Saturday too, nothing wrong with a Saturday, if you can really just delegate, 2-3 hours to just doing all the things you can to set yourself up for success come that week, whether that's doing your laundry, it's doing your meal prep, that's logging your stuff, getting ready for the week, like, do it. Please. Trust me. It'll save you so much time, so many headaches, so many second guessing. You just take action and you go. It's a beautiful thing. So I just want to kind of throw that out here to you guys. It's sacrifice now. That way there is no sacrifice later, only success. That's just my little mindset with it. Take it with if you want. You don't have to. I recommend you do. I recommend it hardcore. If you guys got questions on social media, and not like in the sense of like, Nick, how do I gain quick followers or how do I grow fast? I don't think I can help with that. It's taken me a long time to build what I have today, and I have a lot of pride with that. I much rather like to teach people how to build the confidence to get started. I like to kind of equate it to being your green light, right? If I can be your green light and help you get started and help you gain momentum with all this and just get creative juices flowing, I'm game for it. So, feel free to reach out with that, fitness stuff, training stuff, whatever you need. Would love to help out. I'm just trying not to crash. That's why I'm not looking at y'all. But I will catch you guys here in a sec. Keep doing your thing. Love y'all. Not going to wake up.
Call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
Well, that's not good. Little man didn't answer. One of two things. One, he is just dead ass asleep and will not wake up. And two, maybe he's taking the morning dump. I don't know. I'm hoping it's that second one. But talk about a Monday. Not waking up for the gym. The worst. The worst. Oh, man. But I'm up. I'm fired up. I'm ready to rock and roll. Yesterday, energy was a little low, but today I'm excited to move. I'm excited to get up. I'm excited to attack the day. I don't know where this new profound energy has come from. I think it was due to my 2 more hours of sleep that I normally don't get, or usually strive for but fall short of, I should say. Typically I get about 6 hours of sleep, roughly right around there. Yesterday I had close to like 8 or 10. So plus 4 plus hours. Okay. I might be excited, I might be awake, but I am not computing just yet. The math calculator skills are not working at the moment. So that'll come around sometime. We need some more caffeine. Oh man, okay. Maybe I'm tired. Ugh. Nonetheless, it's Monday, chest day. It's time to get after it. I'm fired up. I am real fired up. And going into this week, I want to put this on myself, and I want to put this on you guys as well. Okay, a strong sense of belief. Okay? A strong sense of belief in yourself, in your actions, in your goals, and truly believing in everything that you're doing. Right? When I say talking, and when I talk about believing in yourself and your actions, you know, it's believing that you are doing the work, that you are doing what is right. It's making sure that you have the right intention with what you're doing and putting into the world. Okay. When we talk about believing in your goals, you know, this is where you have to firmly believe that what you're doing is what you want. On top of that, that you know that nothing will stop you when it comes to achieving these goals because you believe in it and want it so badly. Oh, what's this? Little man. Little man?
Hello.
Oh, he's awake.
Yeah.
Are you eating?
Yeah, in this really dark building.
Shut up, dude. All right, good. I figured you were either asleep or taking a shit and away from your phone, but maybe you were eating.
Yep, it's a little bit of all.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll see you in a little bit.
All right, sure.
Later. All right, there we go. I was right. Shitting, eating, doing all the things. Good job, little man. But belief, it's powerful, man. It's powerful. And, you know, it kind of goes back to the old quote that goes back to the test of time. If you can believe, you can achieve. I used to say that a lot. And I used to say it at a time in my life where, like, I didn't believe, and I would just say that to myself to, like, I don't know, try and correct how I was feeling, and hopefully the universe would believe it. I would say back in the day, I never really believed in myself a whole ton. I had good confidence. You know, when I was playing hockey, I did believe that, you know, I could make it decently far in the sport. Professional, I mean, you know, man, it's a tough dichotomy, I feel like, with that. It's like you have to, like, fully believe in yourself that you're going to make it there. Like, you have to have that no doubt energy in your mind that you're going to make it there. But I'm also an extremely realistic person too. I've always been an extremely realistic person, and I will say it's like not like bittersweet, but it's a double-edged sword, I'll say, because I can understand when things are, how do I put this, right? Like, if I understand that something is not going to happen for very, very logical reasons, things that are out of my control, or, you know, science backs it up, or data backs it up, or, you know, I've repeated something enough times to understand, like, it's just not going to work out a certain way. Cool, I can be very realistic about that and understand that it might not be for me, and that's okay, but how do we pivot, right? And that pivot's important, and I didn't used to have that pivot. Now, where my belief really lacked in myself was my belief to be successful in school, in getting into a better place, better crowd of people with better intentions, I'll say. Back in college, I loved the party life. I loved it. That's what I lived for. Anywhere from, 2 to 5, maybe 6 days partying a week, like going to the bar or just getting hammered in my room with my buddies. Like, and some people say, you know, that's college life, and it's true, it very much is. But to me, it was a different component. It was I had to do this. Like, this is what I will work hard for. Work hard. I'll put some quotations there. You know, I will get to class. I'll do my homework. I'll do what I got to do to make it to this party, right? That was really just my mindset of what I believed I could achieve, as weird as that sounds. I mean, shit, like, I would even tell myself, like, okay, we work out daily, and I was working out daily, but I would work out drunk. I would work out extremely hungover, and I would get in there, and I got to give myself, my past self, some major kudos there. The fact I was able to get in the gym and still work out, being like that, is pretty impressive. But when you're constantly drinking, you're mixing in some drugs, you're eating like a piece of shit, you're not tracking, the results are not going to come in. They're just not. You can try and fight that as much as you want, but it is basically impossible. Especially if the goal is to be shredded or the goal is to put on size, that's gonna be very tough. Okay, I'm gonna pull it back in real quick though, because I feel like I'm a little all over the place. I feel like I'm not really giving you guys the real mindset of what I want to throw on you. But say it back to why belief is just so important in yourself, your actions, and your goals. Because plain and simple, if you're not willing to believe in them, any one of those three or anything else that surrounds that, why would anybody else believe in you? Why would anybody give you the time of day to share a little belief in you that you are going to accomplish such actions, goals, movements, whatever it may be, right? You got to believe so stubbornly that this is what you want, what you're made for, what you're going to do, and it's going to pan out. Right now, there can be those slight pivots, like I said earlier, okay, because that is part of the process. Is we can't accomplish everything in life. You just can't. Okay, if that was the goal, I don't even know, man. The world would look a whole lot different. Okay, probably in an evil way too, which is kind of scary. But we have to have that undoubted belief in ourselves that we're gonna make some shit happen. Believing is half the battle, in my opinion. I don't think showing up. I hate when people say showing up is half the battle. I don't think so. I do believe that believing is half the battle. Okay? Because if you can get into the gym, it's 10 p.m. You just got over maybe a crazy 8-hour shift, 12-hour shift. You're tired. You didn't get to eat all your meals, but you showed up. And you just have that mindset of, I'm going to have a shitty workout, and you believe that. More than likely, it's good that you got in there and you got a little something done, but you're going to have a shitty workout. Okay? If you were able to tell yourself, okay, I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to do what I can to the absolute best that I can. And I believe that. Right? The momentum starts to build up halfway through that workout, because now you're kind of putting everything else to the side. You're not really thinking so much about how you're feeling, what you ate, what you didn't eat, what's going on. Like, you focus heavily on that workout eventually, and now it's something that you want to attack. It's something that you want to actually put purpose behind and get a really good result out of. Okay? So believing is really freaking important. And man, there's a cop. And I have this light on. I always get nervous like this. Get a little nervous with the cop when he sees us in the morning. What's he thinking? We believe in ourselves, right? That's the goal, is to believe in ourselves when no one else does. And when the time comes where people want to believe in us, we give them every little bit of reason to. Okay, we give them every little bit of reason to believe in us, and have them full-heartedly understand that some cool shit's gonna happen because of you. Okay, hard work is gonna pay off. The actions that you're putting towards your goals are going to pay off. All those little things, it's going to be a compound interest, okay? Pretty soon, this believing, it leads to some really cool goals being accomplished. It leads to really cool things starting to happen to you in life, because law of attraction, law of reciprocity. You can never say it. The reciprocity, right? Things start coming back to you in a good way because you earned it. You showed up, you put in that work, everything's great. Alright guys, I clearly need some caffeine. I'm getting close to work, so I'm gonna pop off. I'll catch you in the gym in a sec. not the most perfect start to the dumbbell press, but we'll persevere, right? Yeah, both kick-ups were not the best, and especially when you start to deal with like heavier weight. Like I always say, it's all relative. So whether it's 50s for you, 90s, 130s, the kick-up isn't always the easiest part. It's pretty freaking hard, but the kick-ups weren't the best, but you can't let that derail you from the work. I pushed through both of those sets, like 2 full sets of 8. So that's big PR, 130s, 2 sets of 8. And it was a shitty beginning. So, being able to stick with it, being able to believe that you're going to continue to rock and roll with it, like I said earlier, super, super important. I could feel that the first rep was always so shaky, like you could see it, my arms flaring and stalling out. But I know I'm stronger than that. I know that I'm able to push. I know I'm capable of doing that weight for reps. So it's not always, you believing that you can just lift like a ridiculous amount of weight, but being able to know that you can control the weight and you can move the weight, really important. Okay, because with that belief in myself, I know that I can push. I know I can have 2 successful sets, and that's exactly what I did. So if you're caught in that mindset, keep working, right? If it's painful, you can cut it. If you got people by your side, utilize them for support, utilize them for spots, but push this week, guys. Let's fucking push. We're believing, we're pushing, we're doing the work. That's what we're here to do, okay? We got rows next. Let's get it. Whoa, little man.
What's up?
You up?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
dude. Look at you. You're a professional now.
Pretty much. This daylight savings time really got me.
Damn, dude. You're like a werewolf or something.
Nice.
All right, dude. Bye.
Alright, I'll see you at work.
The little man has grown up. Like we said in the last video, he's got it. He's got it down. It's about staying committed to that now. Right? Yesterday, I wouldn't say last week. Yesterday, I talked about belief, right? Believing in yourself, believing in the work that you're doing, and undoubtedly believing in your goals, knowing that you're going to do the work and everything it takes to get to those goals, right? And one of the big things that I think makes the process fun, right? Because a lot of times it feels daunting, it feels long, it feels like, am I even making any progress? I think one of the more fun aspects of it all is building momentum, right? If you've ever experienced really great momentum, it's exciting and it goes fast. Like, time goes by fast. And that's just me personally. I can't speak for everybody, of course. To me, it just goes by fast because you're accomplishing a lot in a quick amount of time. So obviously the days go by. But I'll never forget one of the greatest experiences of like growth, wins, results. One of the best moments that I've ever had was it was quite some time ago, 2021, right? 2021 going into 2022. It was like the beginning of that winter, 2021, into 2022. That's what it was. Correct. Okay. I decided to do 75 hard in the winter in Missouri, it gets pretty damn cold. It was honestly one of the worst winters that I've experienced here so far. Snow was up to my knees. And so, for those that are not familiar, 75 hard is 75 days of committing to 2 workouts a day. Both are 45 minutes, nothing less. It cannot be 44 minutes and 58 seconds. It has to be the full 45 minutes. Okay. One of them has to be outside. No matter the conditions, unless it's just like absolutely dangerous. You stick to a meal plan. No alcohol. You read 10 pages a day, progress photo, and yeah. And so with that, 75 days, no compromise, full grit, going hard in the paint. Okay. We stuck to it. Right? We did it during the winter. I remember multiple days walking in that snow, fucking freaking out because I was going nowhere. Like, I'm literally knee deep in snow, and it feels like forever. It's like you're trying to get yourself out of quicksand. Like, it was just so fucking miserable. And I remember like all these days of just wanting to quit, just like getting so upset in that snow. But man, it just like it brings something out of you of maybe, what's the word? No quit. That's not a word, that's a phrase. Here, I'll leave it at this. I'm doing it and no one else is. I'm doing this and no one else is. I'm out here fighting in this snow, getting these steps in, working through physical battles, but more importantly, mental battles that so many people would not even take the first maybe 10 steps into. And here I am doing it for 45 minutes straight. Okay, for 75 days. Okay. Now, I didn't have the crazy snow for 75 days straight, but for majority of those days I did. Okay. From there, once you finish 75 hard, you then have phase 1. And you can start phase 1 at any point. I decided to kick it off back to back. Okay, as soon as I finished 75, went to an additional 30 days of phase 1. Phase 1 has those 5 tasks along with 2 other critical tasks. You can choose whatever you want. I use studying and mobility just because I suck at it. There's cold showers. And there's also manifestation. So about 2 minutes of manifestation. Okay. So basically what I'm getting at is a lot of tasks. Like, this is on top of work. This is on top of just life. This is on top of all the things that come with it. And so 105 days of committing to myself, no one else, being selfish, being entirely selfish to me and my goals, wanting to push myself more than I ever have. And not only was I the most shredded that I've ever been, I was the strongest I'd been at that weight. It was about like 190-ish, something there. Mentally sharp, like as sharp as I have been. And a lot of momentum was just created that so many things were working in my favor. I'd won some awards at work, was moving up at work. My social media was at a good place. I mean, I was still kind of like getting into the groove of it, but it was moving. I was just feeling really good. And, life happens and, you fall off. And, not to say that like I've been trash ever since. Like, I've done a lot of other cool things after that still. Right, especially when it comes to powerlifting. I've won my weight class multiple times. I've won it overall. I've continued to win awards at work. I think it primes you up to understand what it takes to win and continue to push yourself, because to me it's that new level, new devil type shit, right? New level, new devil. And with that devil, it's not always necessarily bad, but I'd say it's just the understanding of what it's going to take to beat where you're at now and continue to grow. Okay, there's no blueprint. There's no here's how to get to the next level. There's none of that. It's you have to figure it out on your own and be excited about that process. It's never going to be easy. It's never going to be, I feel fucking funky right now. It's never going to be easy. But it starts with your belief. When you can believe in your work, in your actions, in yourself, and in your goals, you start to create momentum, and momentum starts to compound, and all of a sudden you start to win. Now, with not having a blueprint, there's also no timeline. Okay, that timeline is dictated by how quickly you would like to win. And it's not me saying that you got to work freaking 16-hour days by any means, but if you got to show up a little bit more than the other guy, then you might as fucking well. Because if he's out there trying to snatch your cookie, you better be putting that work to grab it first. Right? So, just that reminder that with that belief comes some hard work and some hard grind moments that you're not always prepared for. But when you can start to stack that momentum, life starts to change in a really cool way. You start to see it from a new perspective. You start to have fun. You start to win. You start to be curious of what else you can do and what is next. And I encourage you all to stick with it. I encourage you all to keep fighting, because I'm going to keep fighting. We got what, 50-ish days till Christmas, which means we got about 55 days till the new year. It's a lot of time to build momentum. That is a ton of time to get yourself in a really good spot to start the new year on a great note. And whether you've set goals in the beginning of the year that you weren't able to accomplish, but now you're ready to rock and roll again, cool. Don't wait till January 1st. Build momentum now, because that's where you get ahead. That's where you start to beat everybody else that talks about accomplishing all these things in January 1, but you're out here doing it in November 4th. I'm trying to think of the date. November 5th. Okay? So, get ahead of the game, put in that work. If you'd like to join me on these next 50-ish days of getting after it, getting jacked, getting juicy, message me. We'd love to get you involved in what we call the First Form app. It's a premium fitness tracking app that gives you a real-life advisor, a real person at our headquarters that holds you accountable to your goals. You're able to track your food in 3 different ways. Actually, more than 3 ways, 5 ways. In ridiculous amount of workouts. The library of workouts at this point is so large that there's always something for you to do. You can be able to change your workouts as much as you'd like. You can track your steps, you can track your food, you can track your water, you can track your progress photos, track your measurements. Like, you have literally everything in that app to set you up for success. So yeah, if you guys have questions, if you need help, reach out. We'd love to point you in the right direction, get you started on the right foot. That way you can attack this new year with some aggressive force, okay? So, me and little man, we got legs. We're going to be changing up a few things in here today. But we're getting after it, baby. We're getting after it. We took progress photos yesterday, weighed ourselves, we did the whole spiel. Now it's just time to put in the work. So, let's get after it.
We are back. It is Wednesday the 5th, November 5th, about 7:20 a.m. Just finished a workout. It was an accessory today. So we had just some lateral raises, some delt work, forearms, calves, shrugs. So normally, like the lagger muscles that need the most one, they get attention, but they're not focused on. That's what we have today. So those are the most exciting, so we show you. But do want to show what we're working with. Obviously, in the last video, I did share the results. Not on our own be right? It was 233, 233 pounds. Went down a little bit of the skeletal muscle mass, 27% body fat. I am in the middle height, and it's been eating at me just because I have not been there in a hot minute. Like it's been a good amount of years since I fucked up that bad. Okay, it's funny because you're doing a lot of the external things that people can see, right? It's the working out, it's the walking, maybe it's reading. It's the things that people can visually see you doing, and it makes a difference in your appearance, right? I've gotten bigger, my arms have definitely gone solid on my legs. So when I wear shorts, when I wear shirts, cool, people can see that growth. But the internal, right? What I'm eating, that's the stuff that people don't always. Maybe the castaway lunch, maybe the castaway breakfast, but no one was seeing the snaps, no one was seeing behind the scenes, no one was seeing the dinners potentially, and the late nights and things like that are adding up when you're not expecting them to. So that's what's led me to this moment. And you have to live my consequences in a sense, right? I'm not saying that if you put on this type of weight that it's a punishment, that you need to punish yourself and get out of it. There's nothing like that. But it's understanding that you did this to yourself, right? You have control over what you put into your body, what you put into your mind for years. And if we're not allowing ourselves to catch ourselves early on and continue to go down that cycle, well, like I said in the past, right, you get good consistency or bad consistency. Regardless, consistency will always win. So when we did show up, you put effort towards good consistency. That's where you get the results I would do. Fortunately for myself, I was probably about like 65%. Okay. So just want to share a little bit of what we're working with, be vulnerable, open up, and just show what we're starting with. I did enter a challenge just to help get myself into good momentum, stay on track, and have purpose again. I'd say that's potentially, I'm not going to say my excuse, but potentially my reasoning for not being as dialed as I should be. As a powerful, I've always had prep in a sense, right? Prep is different from bodybuilding versus powerlifting. I always had to maintain the weight. I can eat really, that's, I would say shit. I didn't need to eat as clean as I would for, potentially stepping on stage. And that's where I had a lot of freedom. But that's where I'm still on top. Maintaining my weight, I'm not getting too far off the forbidden path, and I'm working really hard in the gym still. So I think just having to move forward to kind of stunted my mindset. It's something that I have to continue to work on. And if you're there too, there's nothing wrong with that. We just got to continue to get better. So let's rip off the tunnels, show a little bit. It works. Here's front.
So, since I really began my fitness journey in 2020, start of COVID. I would say my midsection has always been my trouble, my real big trouble area, like my love handles right here. I've had points where I've gotten down to 190 and it's disappeared and it's really tapered. I do a pretty cool tapered body, I would say, like once I get down to that weight. Obviously not right now, don't make fun of me. But that's what I'm excited to see, especially if working towards, stepping on stage does happen. Excited to see what that taper could look like. My shoulders, I've been putting a lot of focus on shoulders in the last couple of months, and seeing that growth has been really cool. And obviously that's what allows you to get a little bit more of that wider sides besides just your lats too, right? If you want to get a slimmer waist, you do have to get wider up here too. That's part of the process. It's not just lose weight down here. You want to be able to build up here too for that hourglass frame. So this is what we're working with up here. I put in size. I've added size to good amount of areas of my chest. Still working for my upper chest a little bit more. Here. Honestly, just the majority of my chest needs a lot of work. Traps are growing again. Shoulders are growing. Arms are growing. Triceps. I feel like I just need to focus on definition. Lats. I definitely feel like I have some back size. So this really is about cutting down in this midsection, getting to a point where hopefully in the next 8 weeks I can get below 20% body fat. That is a big goal of mine. Weight-wise, I would say another goal is crushing down to the low 200s. I'm not going to be aiming for anything too crazy, just because I want to get to a place where ideally I would like to be 200 pounds, 50% body fat, and maintain. Continue to put in hard effort, still put on some good size. Obviously, if I'm not lean, it will be a little bit more difficult to put on size. But that's a part of the process, is building good, matured muscle. So that is the goal. Again, just wanted to be vulnerable and open up, show what I am working with. I feel that for me, 27% body fat is not the absolute worst. Obviously, I got a lot of decent amount of muscle on this frame. So we got some good stuff to play with. But follow along, guys. I'm going to be showing a lot of my meals, a lot of the side, right, the what do I call it, the internal stuff. Maybe I want to show beforehand, just not the external. So it all is going to come together. I mean, it's a game plan for a reason. It's a blueprint for a reason. And we're able to follow through those blueprints, we're able to put together step A, B, C, D, and the step A1, the A2, the B4, right? All those other components within each step, it all compounds, and that's where ultimately the results do come, and a lot of things start to change. So that's going to be it for this YouTube video. A lot longer than my typical videos. Wanted to try something different, see if this is maybe a format I can rock and roll with, compile a few days together. Just try something new, have some fun, see what happens. But as always, guys, please like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram. I truly appreciate y'all. It means a lot to me that you want to come and support me, watch this type of content. I know it's long, and to me that's what shows the most value, is that if I can entertain someone this long, I can hopefully put some value into their life. So let's put the shirts back on. Let's get ready for the day. I know that you guys got some goals to crush. Put your best out there. Put your best foot forward. Show up with intent. Do with purpose. Love y'all. Stay juicy.